Boom. And I also want to finalize talking about why we want to help people get committed and why this is such an important step. Now, as we're looking at this, one of the things I want to explain is the importance of understanding that this is a process that we really want to invest time in with our people and with ourselves. The biggest mistake we can make is think that commitment is just this verbalized statement of, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. No. Commitment is something far, far, far greater than that. And it takes a lot of patience and time. Why is that challenging? Well, let me give you an example. This morning, one of the things that we teach our daughters is to make sure that they always clean their room. They don't leave their room without it being tidy. And it's a standard, it's a value that we teach them. So this morning, y'all, Addie, our youngest one, who's 5, she's trying to fold this blanket and she's crisscrossing it every way, three ways from Sunday, and it's not working. And she's getting frustrated. And after about a minute, I'm like, hey, babe, you want me to help you fold that? And she's like, no, I got this. And so she keeps pushing through, folding it wrong, getting frustrated. At one point, she punches the blanket. I'm like, babe, just keep going. You got this. And then Kinsley, her sister, I get Kinsley next to me and we start chanting like, you got this, you got it, like, you got this, go Addie, go Addie. And we're having fun with this. And finally, after about 8 minutes, Addie is able to fold the blanket and she learns how to fold the blanket. And what that taught me, y'all, that I thought was so powerful for me to learn in that moment was that sometimes efficient is not always effective. And we have to take time on these things. We have to take time on these things. And in life, we have to give ourselves patience, grace, and in the space to learn these things. Just like Addie had to learn how to fold that blanket. Now, it would have been much more efficient for me to dive in and just, here, let me just do it for you because we got to go. We got to get you ready for school. We got to get this thing going. So let me just dive in and do this for you. But what was effective was helping her learn how to do it. So as trainers and trainees, we've got to learn to have patience in the process. And we've got to invest some time in truly understanding what commitment means. And so if you're tired, you're about to get inspired because you are going to learn that this is a process and you're going through PFSU, Primerica Financial Services University. And step 2 is one of the most important steps in the process because we've got to learn to establish a solid commitment. So what is a commitment? Just like Addie had to stay committed to figuring out how to fold it, and I, as her coach, her father, had to give her the space and not dive in, and I did let things be effective and not just efficient. What is commitment? Well, it's saying I'm going to act as if I give it my all, then the best thing will happen because of that. We've got to know that we're going to give it our all. See, I'd rather commit and fail along the way than to never commit to anything and remain the same. And we got to teach people this stuff. Commitment, it's responsibility. Commitment falls under the umbrella of responsibility. See, when we become committed, we become responsible for our futures. And our new person, when we bring somebody in, they've got to learn this stuff. Commitment, it's accountability. If I commit to somebody, I'm accountable to them now. And that accountability is going to help me truly stay true to my word. Commitment is presence to the moment and a willingness to give it everything we've got. And so that is what commitment is. It's giving it our everything. But how do we get people committed? Number 1, if you're taking notes, we help them move from interested to committed, or we have to move ourselves from interested to committed. See, most people mistake committed with interested. Haven't you done that? I've done that so many times in life where I find that I failed in a certain area because I wasn't committed to it. I was interested in it. So when we get a new partner onboarded with us, they're interested in what this opportunity could be. They're interested in what this could be. There are areas in this business where you and I are interested in what this could be and what the outcome could look like. But the truth is we've got to move from interested to committed. Because everyone is interested in what this can do for them, but the question is, are they willing to pay the price? Am I willing to pay the price? Am I willing to give this everything I've got? Am I willing to eliminate the word from my vocabulary, quit? And so when we teach people how to get committed, we have to understand that we're moving them from interested to committed. And that's where it takes time to unpack their why, unpack what it is that they truly want to achieve here. And they've got to really delve into understanding their why. The amount of lines on this paper aren't enough. It's just not enough. And I would challenge our newest new people and ourselves alike to take a moment and literally look at the best day in your future life. And in graphic detail, write it out. What's the aroma in the air? Did you just brew some coffee? Can you smell it? What kind of coffee was it? Was it Peruvian, Colombian? What was it? You're like really put yourself in that space to experience that moment, to put yourself in the why. We've got to entertain the theater of our mind, and we've got to help people understand that. Some of this lingo for the newest new person is like, whoa, is that woo-woo? Kind of, yeah. But man, weird is wealthy, and we got to get there, and we got to help people get there. Because see, here's what happens is most come in with very limited experience in business. And even if they have experience in business, they have generally had employees. Well, an employee is someone who's accountable to showing up for the paycheck, where in leadership, we influence people to show up for the impact. So it's so different what we're teaching people here. And I hope that we grasp this. We're not teaching somebody to recruit and close life in investments and PLPP and this whole entourage of products. We're teaching them to lead. We're teaching them to influence. We're teaching them to become big people. And that's got to be part of their why. So point number 2, as we're looking at how do we get people committed, is we've got to show them an example of winning and that our commitment paid off and theirs will too. Why do we go after it, Bonita, every single day? Why do we go after it? Because we've got to provide that hope to the newest new person that, man, when you commit, it's going to work. See, Curtis, I see you. I see you plugged in. I see you engaged and you're listening, and these words aren't falling on deaf ears. They're seeping into your soul because you understand, like, man, I want more and I deserve more and I'm worthy of more. But it comes down to understanding that we've got to show people an example of how when we fully committed, it was worth it. See, just like our children are always watching, so are your people. And if you don't have a ton of people right now, well, you should be watching yourself. Look in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you're the most committed person that you've ever met and that you're going to go out and get it. Number 3, how do we move people towards commitment? We invite them into an environment of committed people. We invite them into an environment of committed people. Yeah, I loved going to Cabo. It was just one of the most amazing experiences. And I'm telling you what, right now, if you're not an RVP, get to RVP so you can go on that trip. And if you are an RVP and you weren't there, I can't even begin to explain what you missed out on. And you should be prepared to buy your ticket ASAP for the next event, because I'm telling you this right now, every RVP in the A&D hierarchy's gotta be at Cabo, because that was one of the most explosive experiences I've ever been a part of in my entire time here in Primerica. Because ultimately what it did is it pushed me into an environment where I could see people living their best life because their commitment paid off. Gosh, watching our coaches and watching people and just seeing people live their best life. Most people there were elderly because they finally had time and finally had saved some money to go on a vacation like that. And all of us were like young, having fun, like rocking it out. Like, come on, man, like that is living. So you got to be in an environment. And here's why an environment is so important. The environment provides hope. I don't ask our team, shout out to you, DBS Tribes. I love you all so much. I don't teach our team to show up and engage on the trainings because they're going to learn something. That's not the main reason. Yes, that's going to be a byproduct. I don't teach them to show up so that I can tally an attendance sheet and feel good about my attendance. I don't teach the team to show up to trainings because it just is what I'm told to do. I teach them to show up to training so that they can keep funneling hope into their lives of what this can be. Because I'm telling you this right now, 354 sites on a wake-up call. You think there's some hope here? Yeah, there's some hope here for what can happen. So we got to stay plugged into trainings. See, when I see my coaches winning because of their commitment, I know I will win too. I know it. And I can't be in their environment and not be convinced of that. If I'm not in the environment, I will absolutely be convinced that there's another way to have a mediocre life. And worse yet, that mediocrity is okay. Nobody on this call was designed to be average and ordinary. Nobody on this call was designed like God was like, you know what, today is one of those days. Let me go ahead and make somebody super average, super ordinary. That never happened. That never happened. So the environment provides hope. But people forget that the purpose of that environment is hope, and that staying plugged into trainings is what gives people that opportunity. Another great thing to do is to ask people, what did you get from the training? What fired your butt up? What did you love? What inspired you? Point number 4, moving people towards commitment, is we got to teach them that commitment is more than contribution. Commitment is more than contribution. A son and his dad are sitting there having breakfast, and there's eggs and ham on the plate. And his son is like, Dad, man, I'm fired up because I'm learning about commitment and I'm learning what that looks like. But it still hasn't sunk in. Like, I'm still trying to figure this out. What, Dad, is like the core of commitment? What is it? And his dad looks down at the plate and says, well, son, you see what's on your plate. You see there's eggs and there's ham. He says, well, the eggs represent a contribution. The chicken had to contribute. But the ham, now that was a commitment. That's the difference. See, as leaders, are we looking where we can contribute, or are we looking where we can commit? Because see, when Liz texted me, for 1 second, did I think, I don't know if I should? For one, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm like, no, dude, you're not just a contributor, you're committed through and through. You do whatever it takes at all times. And it's an honor, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the difference. It's extreme. Commitment has got to be extreme. It's more than a contribution. And commitment is a willingness to sacrifice. What are we willing to sacrifice to win? We got to understand that. We got to get life licensed in our first 30 days. We got to be willing to sacrifice some time to put in the work to get licensed. We got to be coachable. We got to master our craft. We got to be willing to sacrifice. See, if I know what you want, I got to also know what you're willing to sacrifice for it. Because if those two things aren't in alignment, we're going to have a problem down the road. But I gotta know what price you're willing to pay. And it's about a willingness to humble ourselves for our people and become the best leader we can for our people so that we can show them the way. Does that make sense? And why should we do this? Well, we should do it because, number one, it's the path to their dreams, and we know that. And if you're brand new and this is your first time plugging into this call, you literally connecting your mind to your future and fantasizing about that and picturing it, and you just capturing that why and you holding it so tight that nobody can take it away from you, that's what's going to help you win. Because when you have challenges, you can hold on to something. When you have obstacles that you face because you're not yet ready for something, you're anchored in what's possible. See, my anchor is my faith in what's to come. And so we've got to make sure that we get this. So we know it's the path to their dreams. Number two, it's the solution to their problems and ours alike. And number three, it's what allows them to step into their fullest potential. And it's critically important that we understand that. So today, I just want to, again, I want to challenge everybody on this call to take a moment several moments, actually. I mean, Stefan, if you've got to, did you take some time today and you take a notebook and figure out 1 year from now, 2 years from now, what is a day in your perfect life? And I want you to graphically write that down. Get graphic about it. Like really dive in and release the theater of your mind and play that out and get more committed than you've ever gotten in your life, and teach others to do the same.
Are willing to sacrifice. Winners are willing to invest. We know that the pain is temporary, but the results are coming because you went all in. You're telling your subconscious mind, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I will succeed. I will dominate. I will have the life of my dreams. Everyone around me will be blessed because of the level of my commitment. And guys, I'm telling you, the best days are ahead of you. Will be the greatest year of your life if it's the greatest year of commitment to your business, to yourself, to greatness. And I never, and I mean never, have met somebody that did something great that said, oh man, I regret it. I regret being committed to greatness. Not once. You know who says that crap? The people that never did it. The people that says, you know what, I don't know, man. Family's everything. God's everything. They hide behind God. They hide behind their family. They just make all these, I'm not into the materialistic stuff. And, that's just not me. Guys, just excuses why they chose to be mediocre. I'm sorry, but that's who they are. We have an abundant God that you can have it all. I don't know, because maybe I grew up really, really poor. I don't know that I like to drive a nice vehicle. I like to have live in a nice neighborhood. I don't know. But does that make me a bad person? That I want the best for my family? That I want my kids in the best schools? That I want my wife and my kids in the safest car? Is that so bad? Well, guys, come on. Stop listening to people like that. Dude, I was around them and they made me feel bad that I wanted more. And you know what I said? I'm going to stop hanging around those people, because every time I make a decision to do something great, they're kind of discouraging me. Man, they're throwing water on my fire. Well, oh man, you have the wrong, like, dude, you choose to be mediocre. That's your life. I choose to be great. And I choose to anyone that's around me to inspire them that go for greatness is freaking amazing. Guys, you can't be around me and not want more. You can't be around me and not want to be more. Why not you be that way? I ain't chasing money. I'm chasing greatness. And so is our team. Money chases me. Great people chase me. They want to be around me. Why? Because the level of my commitment, I am committed to greatness. And so is this team. There's over 450 of you guys logging on. You could be doing anything in the world, but what are you doing? You're committed to greatness. Your time is coming. What do you do after this call? What do you do is what's going to determine this. Are you going to be the same old you? Are you going to go to sleep? Are you going to, or you're like, you know what? I'm on it. I'm gonna make more calls than ever before. My time is now. Don't wait for the beginning of the year to start setting goals and start being committed. That's what the mediocre do. Do it right now. Let's change your life. Guys, I love you guys. I am so darn proud of you that you're here, that you're taking notes, that you're getting better. You have an edge. Who's waking up? Who's waking up? Who's starting their day with a multi-million-dollar earner, soon to be billionaire, right? Pouring into your heart, pouring into your subconscious mind, pouring into your confidence. Who is? You are. Don't take that for granted. Let's change the world. Let's do something epic together. God bless you guys. Man, and I can't wait to see you on Super Saturday. It's going to be epic. Love you guys.